Okay, hello, I'm live. And my little intro, I missed it. So let's play it now. That's right. Okay, here I am. I am live now. I apologize for being a little late, but my power went out. I think it went out in several places in the city. So let's see if the chat box is going to work today. I don't know. Trying to get it to work. Sometimes we can, and sometimes we can't. Okay, let's see what it's talking about. Well, looks like it's not going to work today, so we'll deal with what we got. And I will use my banner to post. Okay. Okay, let me change my tags because that's not. I apologize again for not being totally prepared. But as I said, our power went out, and let's play this one. That's the one. Okay. Our times have changed, and last week I did a brief presentation on the different kinds of insurance that we have that is available to you to buy and to have. But so today I'm going to be sharing with you the many things that you can do with life insurance. A lot of people have the misconception that life insurance is only for using when you die to pay your burial expenses, your funeral expenses, and things like that. So I don't know if anyone is joining me. If you like me, you might have your power. Your power might be off, may have been off, and I wish I could get the chat box to work. I really got to ask them about this and see why it's just not working sometimes, but it's kind of getting aggravating, and I just really can't get it to work. Okay, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Let me go to a banner. I got my number up here at the top, so you can call me if you have questions or if you're interested. So what I want to share with you today is the many things that you can use life insurance for. Let me share my screen right now. There are several purposes that you can use it for. So it's kind of like having a bank account, right? A lot of people don't know that. Okay, let's see if I can enlarge this. All right, there we go. Let's start with number one. I think you can see that pretty good. Okay, so life insurance can serve various purposes, both for your beneficiaries after your death and also for yourself while you are still alive. Isn't that good news? That's right. You can use it for yourself while you are still alive. And that's good to know. Okay. I was looking at that chat box again, trying to see if I could get it to work. I'm gonna ask them why. I have time to definitely send them a debug. Matter of fact, it might be a debug. When it was at the debug screen. Hmm. So I was trying to say that we have a setting in here where sometimes you get media debugging. See if I can put that on and see if that will help. Probably not, but we'll see. I'll ask them about it. Okay, so one of the first things that you can use your life insurance policy is for financial protection for loved ones. You can use it for income replacement. Your death benefit can replace your lost income. Let's say that while you're still alive. Let's say, for instance, that you've had a life insurance policy that you've been paying on for the past 20 years, and all of a sudden you lose your job and you can't find another job. Well, you got bills piled up. You still may have a mortgage to pay or rent to pay. If you choose to, excuse me, you can use your cash benefit as an income to help your family maintain your standard of living, cover your daily expenses, pay off your debts like mortgages and loans. And of course, we can use it for funeral expenses, right? But the other good thing that you can use it for is educational funding. You know, when you got student loan back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, even even up to early probably 2020, there wasn't a problem with it. They were easy to obtain, and it was something happened and your life changed, you had something to happen where you could not pay it back, or you could get it dismissed or forgiven. But now they've got so many rules and regulations on student loans. It is something you definitely don't want to get your children involved with to have to take out a student loan to go to college. So if you took out an insurance policy on them when they were a baby or when they were young, then you've got equity. You got a cash equity build up in that insurance on that insurance policy. You could cash it in to use for education funding. Um, you can also use the value of permanent policies to fund your children's college education. Okay, so while you're living, you can also use it as building savings and wealth. So, like I said, it's kind of like a savings account. You get cash value growth. Now, certain types of permanent life insurance, like whole life insurance or universal life insurance, accumulate cash value over time, which grows tax deferred. What does tax deferred mean? It means you don't pay taxes on it. You don't have to pay taxes. And taxes nowadays is what, about 10% of every dollar? And our dollar already doesn't have much value as it is. So rather than putting money into a savings account, drawing it out in IRAs where you have to pay taxes in most cases, you could do your insurance policy, whole life or universal life, and when you got ready to get your cash value growth from that policy, it would be tax deferred. Okay. Also, you can access cash value by borrowing against your life insurance policy or withdraw the cash value for various needs, such as I said, um, for if loss of a job, or if you just want to supplement your retirement income. And like for instance, nowadays the cost of living is so high. We see so many senior citizens that are working, that have to work at the Walmart. They're working um, as cashiers at grocery stores and just working, and they're really physically not able to be doing all that hard work. So why do they do it? Because they have to supplement the little small income, Social Security check, or the small retirement check. In both cases, both of them can be small that they get because they can't keep up with the cost of living. So if you have an insurance policy, you are a senior citizen and you've had it for years, you can actually cash that in now and use it to supplement your income. As we stated earlier, pay for a child's education. You can cover unexpected expenses or emergencies. For instance, you're a homeowner and you don't want to take out a second mortgage on your home to pay for repairs. You can use your life insurance policy by withdrawing from your policy or actually borrowing against your policy, where you would have a cheaper rate of interest, if not at all. And you can also use your life insurance policy to invest in a business. I know a lot of people have said, I want to start my own business, but then you go and try to fill out all the paperwork and all the red tape, try to get a small business loan. Well, if you have a life insurance policy that you've had for about 20 years or 30 years, you could actually start your own business by taking your cash growth from that policy. So that's what you would call investing in business opportunity. On a policy loan, you can borrow against the cash value of your policy, often at competitive interest rates without affecting your credit score. And this is another thing that's very important that people don't know about life insurance policies is that it is of value. It has a lot of value, and you don't have to have good credit to take out a life insurance policy. Okay, let me say that again. You do not have to have good credit. In fact, you can have no credit and take out a life insurance policy. Okay, but the other good thing that it says is like it doesn't affect your credit score. So, for instance, if you want to try to get a loan from a bank, what's the first thing they're gonna do? They have to check your credit, right? So, if you got a life insurance policy that has built up equity of 20 or 30 years worth, then you can borrow against that policy, and nobody's gonna check your credit because it's yours. You've already invested that money in that policy. Okay. A life insurance policy is also tax advantage. Cash value growth is tax deferred. As I said, it's tax free, and your death benefits are usually generally income tax free as well. Estate planning and legacy. Estate equalization. For those people that make quite a bit of money, if you got life insurance policy you've had for years, the death benefit can help ensure a fair distribution of assets among your heirs, especially if some assets are not easily divisible, like a business or real estate. You can also use your life insurance policy for charitable giving. You can actually give a charity, name a charity as the beneficiary of your life insurance policy, and you would be leaving a legacy in your name to that charity in support of a cause that you care about. Estate taxes. Life insurance can actually provide liquidity, liquidity, liquidity to help pay your estate taxes, which can be especially important for high net worth individuals. You got to be rich. I mean, if you're rich, you can act. You probably did not know that you can use your life insurance policy as a liquidation to help pay your estate taxes. Okay, and like I said, life insurance policies have value, and a lot of people don't know that. And let me give you an example of just how valuable it is. For those of you, those people that you know that apply for the SNAP program, or what we call the food stamp program, as you know, one of the questions on there for years, I don't know if it is still, but it probably is that they ask you, do you have a life insurance policy? Well, why did they ask you that? And you've probably been wondering that for years, right? Well, they ask you that because that's cash money. That's right. That's real cash money. And they want to know what that policy is worth. Okay. Because if that policy is worth the over the amount, I don't know what amount they allow for life insurance policies, but they count it as income. They will count your life insurance policy as income simply because it's cash value. So they want to know how much it's worth because it's going to affect your eligibility for SNAP benefits or food benefits. Okay. All right. So when we get down to number four, financial flexibility and security, accessing funds. You can access the cash value of your policy through loans or withdrawals for any purpose. You don't have to try to think of anything important. It's for any purpose. If you want to take a family vacation, that's fine. You can use it for that. Providing flexible source of funds during your lifetime. Okay. Now, rider. You don't know what a rider is. A rider is another policy that is attached on to your original policy. That's called a rider, an insurance rider. You can also customize your policy with your riders that provide additional benefits, such as accelerated death benefits for terminal illness. So let's say, unfortunately, which we don't want that to happen, but let's say you get cancer and we all know they claim that they have not found a cure for it. But let's say that you have an incurable disease, cancer, that's worsening and your time is getting shorter, but you've had this policy for 20, 30 years. You can actually uh, claim an accelerated death benefit on your rider for a terminal illness. For a terminal illness, you can also use it for nursing home because it cover the cost of nursing homes, long-term care benefits, because they are really expensive. Nursing homes um, charge quite a lot of money, so you could use it for that, for your loved one, for yourself, and you also can use it for accidental death benefits. We have several companies that will, when you actually buy your life insurance policy, you can actually buy a rider for pennies on the dollar as when it comes to accidental death benefits. That's what we call AD&D. And it's usually like a dollar or two more. For instance, if you buy a $5,000 policy, they'll offer you an option to attach a rider of an accidental death benefit that would be the same amount, $5,000, but probably about $1.80 or a couple of anywhere from $1 to $4 or $5. It depends on the amount of the policy that you're taking out, as well as your age. But anyway, that gives you double benefit. Okay, so that's a lot of things. That's one thing that people don't know about either. Um, some important notes to think about. Not all life insurance policies offer these benefits, so it's important to know what type of insurance policy actually does these things. And that's why I told you about all of the different kinds of insurance policies that is available for you. Term life insurance, for example, does not build cash value. I told you that last week. Accessing the cash value or borrowing against your policy can reduce also your death benefit on most policies, okay? Unless you pay it back, because you can't always pay it back, all right? It is crucial to understand the terms and conditions of your specific policy and consult with your financial advisor to determine the best way to leverage your life insurance for your individual needs and goals. And that's where we come in. We make sure that we explain and tell you all of the options and what different kinds of insurance we have. And it's all done with a telephone consultation. You don't have to leave your home. I don't have to come to your house. And I know you're glad about that. But yeah, we look at all of those things for you, and we explain it to you in plain English. And that's probably been a problem down through the years too. That people have probably inquired about insurance, but they did not understand the terminology. So I explain it to you in plain English. I'll break it down, and you can ask over and over again until you can actually get it, the flowing into actually what the certain terminology does mean. So, as I said, this is very short. This is for this week, and for next week, we'll look at some other aspects of life insurance. But it is important that you have it. And if you have babies, now's the time to buy a policy for that baby because you probably only have to pay about $5 a month, and your premium will never change. Now, next week when I come back, I'm going to talk to you about some policies where you probably have heard advertising see is $1 a day and your premium never change. Well, it is true. Your premium doesn't ever change on some types of policy, but not on all policies. So next week we'll take a look at those different aspects of life insurance. Meanwhile, I am your friendly Emily Pearls, Emily Kirk. Give me a call at 1-844-444-0102 if you have questions and just want to talk about it. Not obligated to purchase anything. I will be happy to explain it to you, and then we can go from there. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop sharing now and get my mug back in here. And I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to my short life insurance weekly presentation. Please share this around because hopefully today I gave you some explanations that will help you, but you never know who else might help. So please share and pass along. So I will see you all next week on a Sunday for sure. It won't be Monday because I know we have a holiday on tomorrow, and I want to wish you all happy holiday, a happy Memorial Day, blessed Memorial Day, however you use it, quoted and unquoted, okay? But I will see you all next Sunday. Meanwhile, give me a call at 1-844-444-0102. I'll be glad to talk to you. All right? Bye bye.